Hello everyone, welcome to Excel with Isaac series, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to format cells. The idea of formatting cells is to change the appearance of values in a cell to make it more readable and easy to appreciate at a glance. And for this tutorial, the main areas we'll be covering are number formatting, percentages, and then dates. And once we are done with that, we'll look at the format painter, how to apply single formatting, and how to apply multiple formatting. So we start with formatting numbers. Now in column B is how Excel formats numbers by default, which is the general format. And column C is the formatted results, how we want the numbers to appear in the cell. And in column D, I demonstrate how you can achieve the result in column C. So starting with the first row, how do we achieve this result? So what we need to do first is to select the cell, come to home, and the number format, we click on the comma style. So once we click on the comma style, by default, Excel gives us 2 decimal places. If you want to reduce the number of decimal places, you can decrease the decimal here. Or if you want to increase the decimal, you can increase it here. So let's reduce the decimal places. And with that, we've been able to achieve the first formatting style. Now, the first formatting style, where we come directly into the format option Excel gives us, does not allow us to perform other formatting options to the number. And one of the key things that it doesn't allow you to do is to be able to center align this formatted number. When I click on the center alignment, you see that the number stays in the right part of the cell. Now, if you want to achieve the center alignment, we need to format the cell with the second style of formatting. And for that, we click on the number. We come and click on the more options in the number format menu. Once we click on that, Excel gives us a pop-up, and then we come to custom. Now, when you come to custom, Excel gives you the sample window, which is a preview window as to how the number will look like when you make a selection here. And when we select this first option, you realize that Excel is giving us a preview of how the number will look like. So in this case, the format that we want is the fourth option, which is the hashtag, comma, hashtag, hashtag 0 option. And as you can see, Excel has formatted this nicely, and we click on OK. Now, once we click on OK, the formatting has been applied to the number. And in this instance, when we try to center align, you realize that we are able to center align the number. So anytime you format with the first approach and you try center aligning, it doesn't work. But when you format with the second approach, you realize that when you try to center align, it works. And this is important because if you want your headers to be center aligned and your numbers to be center aligned, under the first approach, it doesn't work, but under the second approach, it works. Now, the third formatting style we are looking at is how do you format this negative number to look this way. And for that, we click on the number, we come to the format options, and we click on comma style. Once we do that, again, Excel gives us the comma separators, and we can reduce the number of decimal points. For the fourth option, how do we format the number to look this way? We click on the cell that we want formatted. We click on the comma separator. We reduce the number of zeros. But how do we achieve the red color? And in order to achieve this red color, you can click on more options, come to number, and then make the fourth selection, and then click OK. And with that, we've been able to achieve the red appearance of the number. Now, the fourth option is the option that I recommend for everybody trying to learn number formats, because under the fourth option, what we are coming to do is that we'll be selecting a single formatting style. Now, once we do that to the cell, what will happen is that any kind of number that we put in the cell, whether it's a positive number or a negative number, we'll be able to achieve these formats. So the reason why I've separated the two is that I want you to be able to appreciate how the number will look like when I type in a positive number, and also appreciate how the number will look like when I type a negative number. So let's proceed. So under this option, what we do is that we come and click the number format sub menu. We come to custom, and by default, in your number format options, you should see an option like this. Okay. Now, for this option, what Excel is trying to say is that The first part of the format, which is before the semicolon, is how the number is going to appear if it's a positive number. The second part of the format, which is after the semicolon, is how the number is going to appear if it is a negative number. And in this case, for me, for a negative number, rather than show the negative symbol, I choose to rather put the number in a bracket and then we color it red. For those of you that may not have this option, if you want to type it from scratch, it's hashtag, comma, hashtag 0. And this is how the number will look like when it's positive. We put in a semicolon. And for the negative number, we open up the square brackets, we type in red, we close the square brackets, we open up the comma, and then we type in hashtag, comma, hashtag 0, and we close the brackets. So what this means is that if the number is a positive number, apply this formatting. If the number is a negative number, apply this formatting. And this is some form of minor intelligence you're applying on the cell to be able to know how to format a number. So once we are done with the formatting option, we click on OK. And as you can see, nothing has happened because there's no number in the cell. Now let's type in 20,000 and see if you're able to achieve the result here. So type in 20,000 and we're able to achieve the result. If I type in negative 20,000, we are able to achieve the second result because we've set the format of the cell to be able to handle both positive numbers and negative numbers. And this is the method I'll recommend for you guys anytime you're trying to format numbers. Now, if you want to add in currency, you can come back to the options menu, and under the option where the number is positive, you can introduce the double quotes. You put in your currency symbol, close the double quotes for positive. For negative as well, you come into the brackets, introduce your double quotes, put in the dollar symbol, and then close your double quotes. And as you can see in the sample window, Excel is showing us how the number will look like. So now that we are done with this, you can click on OK. And as you can see, Excel introduces the currency symbol. So if I type 50,000, Excel introduces the currency symbol and formats the number very nicely. And with that, we are done with number formats. Now let's move on to formatting percentages. By default, percentage numbers in Excel show up as decimal places. If you want to achieve this formatted result, all you do in this cell is that you click on this cell and under the number format options, you come and click on percentage style. And once you click on this, Excel applies the percentage format. We can also do that in the second row by clicking on percentage style. And with that, we've been able to achieve the second formatting style. Now, the third formatting style for percentages that I recommend for you guys is the custom percentages. And for that, we come and click on the number format submenu. We come to custom. And again, for this type, what we are looking for is hashtag, comma, hashtag 0. And then we input 0.0%. We can reduce the number of decimal places by taking away the decimal point. If we want to show the decimal point, we can put in 0.0%. And this is how the number will look like if it's a positive number. Now for the negative number, we introduce the semicolon. We open our square brackets, we type in red. We close our square brackets. We open our brackets and we type in hashtag, comma, hashtag 0. Now for this one too, I want it to one decimal place. So I introduce the decimal point and then add another 0 and then hit the percentage symbol. The percentage symbol is at number 5 on your keyboard. So once I'm done with that, I can close brackets and then I hit enter. And again, after applying this format, we do not see anything because I haven't typed any number in the cell. Now if I type 30%, and I hit enter, you can see that Excel has formatted the number with a decimal place. I can also take off the decimal by hitting the decrease decimal. Now if I type negative 30, we can see that Excel has formatted the percentage red and put it in a bracket. Now this is the method I recommend for you guys anytime you are trying to format percentages. And with that, we are done with formatting percentages. Now the next thing I will be looking at is how do we format dates. By default, if you look at how Excel formats dates, under the general format, Excel sees dates as numbers. So every date corresponds to a number. And so by default, 1st January 2026, in terms of how it looks like when it's a number, is expressed this way. Now, if you want to achieve this format over here, all we can do is click on the cell, come to the number format, drop this down, and select short date. Now, when we do that, we're able to achieve this format result. And for the second format result, we want to be able to show the month as a text. How do we achieve this? In order to do this, you come back to your format sub-menu, you click on the icon, and once the pop-up comes, you come to custom. Now, if you come to custom and you scroll down, you should be able to see the formatting options for dates here. If you don't see it, don't worry, you can type it out here. So now the first component that we need for the date is the day component, which is DD. And as we start typing, you realize that in the sample preview, Excel helps us to appreciate how the number looks like. So if we type in 1D, Excel is showing it as 1. Type double, we see 01, which corresponds to this. And for the month component, we put in the hyphen. We type in MMM. If you type in MM, Excel shows the month as a number, similar to how Excel showed it here. If you don't want the hyphen and you want a forward slash, you can use the forward slash, and Excel shows in the preview how the dates will look like. But in this case, we want the hyphen. So we go with the hyphen and we add another M to the month to show it as a text. And then we put in hyphen and then we add the year YY. And with that, we've been able to achieve the same format based on the sample preview. So now you can click on OK, and then Excel applies the format. So we've been able to format this date number to look in a much better and easier way to appreciate. Now the third option that will be formatting will be including the day of the week. We'll include a comma and then we show the dates. So for that option, we come back to the number format sub menu. We come to custom. Then under the type, we input DDD. Now when you input DDD, Excel shows you the day of the week. If you want to see the full day of the week, you can type in another D, and Excel shows that there's a Thursday. So let's go back to 3 Ds. We put in a comma, and then for the day, we type in DD. We put in the hyphen. For the month, we type MM. So you can actually play with this window just to see how the dates look like. I advise that. So let's continue. We put in a hyphen and then we put in Y to be able to show the full year 2026. And once we are done with that, we hit OK. And with that, we've achieved the formatted result. And for the fourth option as well, we go to the format sub menu, we come to custom, and then in the type, we can type in DDDD. Let me just push this down so that we can see more of what is in here. But instead of a hyphen the second time around, we want a space. So we come to the type and introduce a space. And if you want to see the full month, we type in M. Excel spells out the full month. And for the year, we type in Y. And once you're done with that, hit enter. Now, the reason why Excel is showing hashtag is because the result is longer than the length of the column. So we can easily open the column and then we have the result. Now, for the fourth option as well, what we can do is come and click on the custom format. We come to custom, and for this case, we select DDDD and we hit OK. Now, what has happened under the subsequent options from row 5 and row 6 is that the date hasn't changed. If you look up here, the value of the date is still 1st January 2026. However, in terms of how we are showing it to the user or how we formatted it, we are showing it as Thursday, January 2026. And this is what cell formatting does or number formatting does. It takes the value in a cell and changes its appearance. In the fifth row, you see that the same date is being represented by Thursday. Again, the value of the date hasn't changed. It's still 1st January 2026. However, the appearance of the date has changed. And that's what cell formatting does to the cell. It helps you to change the appearance of the cell. So with that, we are done with formatting dates. So the next thing I will be looking at is the format painter. Think of the format painter in Excel as something to improve your productivity. So I'll demonstrate how it works. Now, another good thing about formatting cells is once we input a custom format, Excel saves that format. So let's go to our custom format and let's come to custom. Now, when we come here, you realize that when we scroll down, all the formatting styles that we applied are saved in Excel's memory. So let's choose the format with the red and the brackets. That's this one. Again, if you don't have it, you can quickly type it hashtag, comma, hashtag 0 for positive, put in your column, semicolon, open the square bracket, type in red, close the square bracket, open your bracket, hashtag, comma, hashtag, hashtag, 0, close bracket, hit enter. Now, as you can see, I formatted all the cells. The positive numbers, take the positive format. The negative numbers, take the negative format. Now, this is how the format painter tool works. Imagine I had to format this cell as well. I'd have had to come here and repeat the step of coming into the sub menu, going to custom, and then choosing an option. Now, what if there was a way to be able to format the cell much more quickly? What you do is, if you have an instance of a formatted cell, you highlight that instance and you come and click on the format painter. Now, once you click on the format painter, you see that the icon has changed to have a brush on it. And once you see this brush and you want to apply this format to any other column, you come to the column that you want to apply the format and then you click on it. And with that, we've been able to replicate the same format in the cell with this. Another way you can do that is you can select a single cell that has been formatted. You click on the format painter and then you can highlight a range of cells and also still work. Excel is able to know that you want to apply the formatting of the cell that you've selected to the new cells. And that's how the format painter works. Let's try for percentages as well. So for percentages, we highlight this. We come to the custom format window. And the custom, we scroll down and we look for the percentages with the red. So this one, we click on enter and we have our percentages formatted. If we want to apply the same percentages to these cells, all we do is that we can either select an instance or the entire range. We click on Format Painter and then we click on the cells that we want to apply. Now, all the times that we've been using the Format Painter brush, anytime we select the brush and apply a format, you notice that the brush resets. And when we want to apply another format, we go back to the brush, select it, and apply a format. What if there was a way to select the brush once, apply all your formats? When you're done, you reset the brush. So for that, let's go to Format Painter 2 sheets. And as you can see, the cells here have not been formatted. So now if you want to format these cells, let's take an instance of a formatted cell, say column B. And now when we come to the Format Painter brush, instead of clicking it once, we click it twice. Now when you click it twice, you'll be able to use the Format Painter brush multiple times without it resetting. So let's go back to our Format Painter 2 sheet and apply the brush on this range of cells. Once I click, the cells are formatted. However, the brush still remains. Then I can click on column C cells. The brush still remains. Now, if I want to reset the brush, all I hit is the escape key and then the brush disappears. So let's apply the brush multiple times in column D. I come back to the brush, I double click, and now when I apply the format, you realize that the brush is not resetting. So I'm done with all the cells I want to format, and then I hit the escape key, and then the brush disappears. So now let's format the percentages ranges as well. We come to the Format Painter sheet, let's select a range of cells, double click the brush, come to the Format Painter tool, select the cells, and then you select the cells again. And with that, we've been able to apply the brush multiple times without resetting. So now let's reset the brush. We hit escape and the brush has been resetted. Another thing I've done is that I've prepared a series of format options. So if you want to format your numbers, percentages, and dates, you can quickly come for any of the format codes. And the way that you apply it is you come for the format code, you come into the formula bar, you hit Ctrl C to copy, and then hit escape to exit the formula bar. You can come and click on the number format options and you come to custom. And if you want to apply the format under the type, you paste the format here. So you can use this approach to be able to format your number cells. You can also use the same approach to be able to format your percentages and your dates as well. This is just something I've prepared to help you along your way in Excel. Anytime you are struggling to format a number, you can come to this reference sheet, copy the format codes, and apply it to your number formats. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching as always. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, colleagues, and anyone you think may need this Excel knowledge. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.